apparently about a couple of hours ago, Eddie Hearn, keep in mind, basically the time difference from here and, the West Coast versus, you know, um, across the water. So with that being said, Eddie Hearn did an interview, and according to Eddie Hearn, it looks like Boots versus Virgil Ortiz appears to be off. He said it's all but off unless something dramatic happens. Now, just as early as yesterday, we were made to believe that a formal announcement was coming that this fight was official. And now it appears that the fight is off, saying that Boots has had second thoughts and that he may continue the campaign at 147. So, with that being said, a lot of people are going to consider this a duck. A lot of people are going to consider this a duck, and Boots is going to get um, called out. People are going to say he ducked Virgil Ortiz. Now, keep in mind, I said this. I said this a couple of weeks ago after his performance, versus Karen, that Boots showed a lot of vulnerability. I said that I believe wholeheartedly that he can't beat Crawford. And I said the Virgil Ortiz fight became a lot closer than we thought. Where I once thought the fight would be a blowout in favor of Boots, but then after seeing his performance versus Karen, I wasn't so sure. And maybe Boots and them saw something that they didn't like. Nah. It looked like Virgil Ortiz was all set to go forward with this fight. According to Eddie Hearn, he says Team Boots is having second thoughts about this fight. It wasn't Virgil Ortiz. Team Ortiz was all set to go. And it looks like, listen, it is what it is. We got to call it how we see it, and we got to be fair. It's a bad look. It's a bad look for Boots. It's a bad look after saying, hey, I'm going up to 154. Then you get offered a great fight at 154, which is a non-title fight. And then it appears that the fight was all but about to get announced. It was supposed to get announced today. And now all of a sudden you hear about Boots and them backing out of the fight. Now, I'm going to make some phone calls. I'm not going to say Boots is a duck, but it appears that way, and it's going to appear that way to a lot of people. I'm going to make some phone calls. I'm going to get to the bottom of this and see what's going on. Because now it looked like Boots and them have decided that, hey, they want to win some titles and unify at 147. So does that mean they're going to set their sights back at Brian Norman Jr.? Now, I'll talk to Team Norman Jr. Brian, uh I may bring Brian Sr. on today. Try to see, can I get him on today? He might be working and stuff, so we'll see what's up. But you got to call a spade a spade. You got to call an apple, and you got to call an orange. But it isn't a good look. You can't sit up there and have people believing that, okay, a deal has been reached and an announcement is coming soon. And then at the 11th hour, you decide, hey, not so fast. We'll go another direction. Yeah, the only thing, like I said, I'm not gonna sit up here and go in on Boots because I actually like Boots and I like his father. But as a journalist, as a you know, urban street conversationalists, it isn't a good look. It isn't a good look, no matter how you want to slice it. It doesn't look good on their behalf. Keep in mind, they were saying that they wanted to fight Bud, and Bud was ducking them, and then come to find out, they was offered a fight with Bud. They turned it down, saying they wanted to stay loyal to Showtime. And then, after Bud moves on, then all of a sudden, you know, basically it looked like, okay, you didn't want to really fight Bud, and that you was just using his name to build some stature when you was offered a fight and you turned it down. So now you set your sights, you move up, or you had people believing that you was gonna move up and fight Virgil Ortiz. And now it looked like that you, for some reason, you got cold feet and you backed out of the fight. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Brian Norman Jr. isn't gonna be a cakewalk for Boots. That fight could go either way. Either Boots could knock Brian Norman Jr. out, or Brian Norman Jr. could knock Boots out. That's almost a fight that ain't going the distance. Either way, it's going to be a hell of a fight, but let's see what happens. Let's see what Eddie has in store for him. So now it looked like this February 22nd fight is starting to fall apart. No word on what's going on with Shakur Stevenson and Schofield. Raymond Mortella, he decided, or Robert Garcia decided, hey, Shakur Stevenson is not an option. Zepeda decided he came up with a mysterious injury, hand injury. So it's not looking good for that. It's not looking good for that. It's not looking good for that February 22nd card. So now you have two fights that's two possible fights that's up in the air. Now, Tank versus Lamont Roach was made official. Tank is bringing up somebody in weight. And this is why Tank gets the criticism that he gets. If I was Tank, this is just real talk. If I was Tank, I would give, this is my own observation, this is my own opinion. If I was Tank, because they got all the way till March. It's not even December 1st yet. So they got like, what, four months almost? December, January, February, March. If I was Tank, I would give Lamont Roach some step aside money, and I would start negotiating with Shakur Stevenson. That makes all the sense in the world. Give him some step aside money, bring Shakur Stevenson in. That's a bigger fight. That's a more high profile fight. Let's get it. You will have, I'm talking about, it's December. Well, December is tomorrow. You would have, you could go on a media tour for at least 3 weeks trying to promote this fight. I would bring Shakur Stevenson in. Why not? Why not? That would be a bigger fight. But we know Tank ain't going to do it. He's going to go in there, in all likelihood, knock out Lamont Roach, and then say, well, I got another knockout, but then at the same time, people going to be like, okay, fine. So what's next? Well, this is why boxing, like I said, is this is why boxing is on the verge of just being the Titanic, sinking into the ocean, because you get this stuff all the time. You just can't get the fights you want because none of these fighters want to cooperate. There is no, I'm just keeping it 100. Shakur Stevenson is available. Why not just make the Shakur Stevenson fight? Give Shakur Stevenson, you could do a 60-40 split, which I think Shakur Stevenson would take it. You could put a rematch clause in there and make that fight. Oh, appreciate the donation. There's no reason why you can't make that fight. There's no reason why you can't negotiate and put that fight together. Oscar, I'm sorry. Listen, I got action with Golden Boy. I didn't got, you know what I'm saying? I didn't got credential for a couple of Golden Boy fights, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize Oscar. Oscar put his foot in his mouth and he contradicted himself. He sits up there and say fights don't get made because of the fighters, but then you got Kid Austin. Boy, they be going in on this daddy. Unfortunately, they be going in on this daddy. And I'm not even going to lie. Floyd Schofield deserves some of the criticism that he gets just for a lot of different things because he was, you know what I'm saying? He was sitting up there backing the racist and Ryan Garcia, just like a lot of these coon fighters were, and analysis and content creators. Cowards. Yeah, I said it. But that Oscar always contradicts himself. I'm just keeping it a buck. You turn right around and say, "Oh, well, it's the fighters. It's the fighters who doesn't want to make the fight. They blame it on the promoters. They blame it on management. They blame it on the network, but it's the fighters." Well, this time, Oscar, it's the promoters. You're standing in the way. If Schofield didn't want that fight, let the fight happen. You do have Shakur Stevenson, and I know it's a few people that criticize Shakur Stevenson because they don't like him, but I fuck with Shakur Stevenson because at the end of the day, Shakur Stevenson is always giving me interviews. He's always giving people for my team interviews. He's always giving Migs interviews. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. I believe in loyalty. You know, that's real talk. Shakur Stevenson is always giving me. Do I agree with some of the stuff Shakur Stevenson has said over time? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I haven't agreed with some of the stuff Shakur Stevenson has said. Absolutely not. But at the same time, Shakur Stevenson is always giving me interviews. Whenever I requested an interview with him, whether it was through Jay Prince or whether it was, directly through him, he's always giving me interviews. So I just have to tell the truth. I think that's pretty much what you guys want is honesty. Yeah. No, absolutely not. I don't agree with some of the stuff Shakur Stevenson has said. But let's be honest, as fight fans, why not just pay Roach some step aside money? Just be like, dude, here go $500,000. Here go $500,000. I'm gonna go and fight Shakur Stevenson. And we gonna leave it at that. Because that fight is not gonna do no numbers. Yeah, it'll sell out. It'll be standing room only and stuff because Tank does bring in the big crowd. Nobody cares about that fight. I mean, well, you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. Listen, I'm the one that's putting this out there. So if y'all hear other people saying, because a lot of these dudes bite my channel, they don't give me credit for. It's December. Tomorrow's December the 1st. I would just, that Lamont Roach fight, I'll be like, I'm cool. You can negotiate with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is healthy. I'm talking about people will get up for that fight. I know Shakur Stevenson didn't had a couple of bad outings, but people will get up for that fight. People will watch that fight. Shakur Stevenson is good at talking shit just like Tank. Well, that's the thing. That's the difference between me and a lot of these other people. You got to remember, honesty come with a price. Honesty come with a price. I went in on Al Heyman. I went in on some of his antics, and the price I paid, PBC won't credential me for any of their fights. I get credentialed from Golden Boy. I've criticized Golden Boy and their fighters. I've criticized Top Rank over the years. I've criticized, y'all know I done went in on Lomachenko, and I still get to cover his fights. I still been able to send people to his fights. I've criticized Eddie Hearn, still get credentialed from Matchroom because they don't take it personal. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. But your so-called black brother Al Heyman, who aligns himself with people that dog out, in particularly black media, he let them get away with that. Now, Al Heyman is not doing very well. I'm not going to tell his personal business, but at the end of the day, Al Heyman knew that this stuff was going on. And he let them get away with it. His fighters are his fighters that are black. They hold personal grudges. His fighters have threatened to do physical harm to media people. And it's funny. I done heard Ellie disrespect quite a few fighters. And particularly the ones that look like me, but we'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone. But he don't get threatened. But I saw somebody threaten Blue Blood Sports, Jamel Charlo, said he was going to slap him. And Blue Blood is my dog. So that's what I'm saying. They go crying to Al. Then Al calls, the media people. He calls either Kelly Swanson. Then Kelly Swanson calls, oh, don't let this dude in. So I'm just telling y'all what be going on behind the scenes. So, yeah, you appreciate my honesty. Yeah, I appreciate it too. But remember, honesty comes with a price. I mean, it comes with a stiff price. Yeah, Bill, listen, Bill is my brother, and I'm going to say this real talk. And I done told Bill over the phone, I wish he wouldn't talk to DJ Vlad. I cannot stand that culture vulture. I can't stand that culture vulture, foreigner, immigrant motherfucker. He knows nothing about black culture. He is a culture vulture who likes to exploit the black community for profit. Just like he didn't know what the hell he was talking about when he did that interview with Bill about what happened with Nipsey Hussle. I know them people. I didn't talk to them dudes. I know exactly what was up. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and he was lying. Yeah, Bill is my brother. Bill is my brother, but then I ain't scared to, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, sometimes you got to tell the truth. First of all, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like I say, me and Bill be talking. Me and Bill was scratching our heads, figuring out what's the next move for Devin. Yeah, I know. He threatened to slap Blue Blood, but he ain't threatened to slap Ryan Garcia though, who said he hated black people and he wanted to kill him. And he wanted to dig up George. I know they never had that type of energy. They didn't you ain't even heard nothing from them. Now the situation with Ellie, um, I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't gonna say too much on here because you know how people may take something and run with it. But Ellie said some shit that I had a big problem with. That he don't have no business giving his unwanted opinion because at the end of the day, Ellie is not one of us. And he don't have the right to determine what's this and what's that. He's not one of us. He not like us. Yeah, Jack, I was hella mad about that. Yeah, a lot of these fighters disappeared. A lot of these fighters disappeared. You got people taking pictures with Ryan Garcia. If Ryan Garcia came near me, I, but yeah, Jack, I didn't pay the stiff price. I didn't pay the stiff price being honest, because the PBC is the only ones that seem to take it personal, and they fighters take it personal. They got all this smoke for the brothers, but then they give a pass to the others. And then and he's sitting up there, talking about something ain't, oh, it ain't about black and white and all this kind of shit. But then just a couple of years ago, he was sitting up there crying about how he couldn't get in the gym, a certain gym, and he thought they should have recognized him, and he was talking about racism. They always do that stuff. They dismiss racism until it happens to them. Then all of a sudden, my black people, black fist in the air. Nah, nope. You dismissed it, so cool. Keep it that way, bro. I'm getting discriminated against. Man. People out here, I'm just saying. Y'all. I'm just saying. But yeah, man, with Boots, real bad look, man. You just gotta call a spade a spade. And like I said, I'm gonna try to see, can I get maybe one of them? I'm gonna make some phone calls, at least get a source close to the situation. And then, if I get some information, then I'll relay it to y'all. But anyway, appreciate y'all. Appreciate the support. I'll be in Arizona next week to cover the rematch with Valdez and Noravate. So see y'all later. I'll be back with more later on. Oh, by the way, before I go, didn't I tell y'all that Drake better watch it? That'll be the next live, maybe in 20, 15 minutes.